Hey Handheld gamers, this video is going to be super exciting because we're going to be comparing the Lenovo Legion Go to the ROG Xbox Ally X, and we're going to be talking about which one you should buy and spend your hard-earned money on, and we're actually going to be doing a showdown, basically comparing the specs, design, display, battery features, and the price, and basically deciding which console you should spend your money on. So without further ado, please like, subscribe, click the bell icon. Also check the links down below in the video description for the best handheld gaming accessories, as well as a bunch of other cool stuff like coffee, my favorite coffee, all that good stuff. Don't forget to follow me on X, where we talk about and share handheld gaming news all the time, every day, throughout the day. Come say hi, send me a message, come follow me on X, Blaze2KX on X, and let's talk about gaming together. And just be friends. So let's start with the Lenovo Legion Go 2. Obviously, guys, these two handhelds are without a doubt two of the most exciting handhelds. They're going to be the two of the most mainstream handhelds you're going to get in 2025. If you have a budget anywhere from $800 to $1,500, these are the two handhelds that you're going to get the most bang for your buck for in terms of performance. They are the two top mainstream handheld devices this year. As far as I'm concerned, the Lenovo Legion Go 2 and the Xbox Ally, there is quite a difference, and we are going to pick a winner. I think I already have a winner in mind. You could probably guess if you've been watching my other videos. But let's get started with the specs. Now, we're not going to cover all the specs in the specs tier initially, just because a lot of the specs are similar, but also because some of the specs are enveloped in the other tiers that we're going to be basically deciding a winner on, okay? So let's get started with the Lenovo Legion Go. So the Lenovo Legion Go obviously is going to feature the AMD Ryzen Z2 Extreme processor. It's got the Radeon 890 16-core GPU. It's going to support 32 gigs of LPDDR5X RAM and have storage, 1 terabyte storage, but obviously upgradable to 2 terabyte plus, depending on what kind of SSD you want to put on this thing. Overall, pretty decent specs, right? So overall, pretty decent specs. I love the fact that they're pushing up to 32 gigs of RAM on the Lenovo Legion Go 2. I think that's where we should be going for high-end handheld gaming PCs. Obviously, it allows you to maybe dock up to a desktop monitor, connect a mouse and keyboard, and use this thing for not just gaming, but for work and doing productive things. And having more RAM allows you to do more multitasking. So I think that's a win overall. For the Xbox ROG Ally, obviously, we're also getting the AMD Ryzen AI Z2 Extreme on the high end, AMD Radeon graphics, obviously the same 890. And for the RAM, we're only getting up to 24 gigabytes for the Xbox ROG Ally. Again, LPDDR5X and 1 terabyte storage, obviously supporting micro SD as well. So very similar on the specs front, but because the Lenovo Legion Go obviously supports that higher RAM, there's not much of a difference in terms of specs from that point. This is going to be a close one. Now, both support USB 4. Both have two USB 4 ports. The Lenovo Legion Go has two USB 4 ports that support 40 gigabits of data transfer, DisplayPort 1.4, and Power Delivery 3.0. The Xbox Ally, I believe, has one USB 4 Type-C port with DisplayPort, Power Delivery 3.0, and Thunderbolt 4 compatible, which is interesting. It's got one USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C with DisplayPort and Power Delivery. So it's not got two USB 4s, which is unfortunate. It obviously got the micro SD support, audio jack, etc. Both of them have the audio jack. But it's very interesting and telling that the Lenovo Legion Go has two USB 4s. And obviously, I've talked about this in the past. The benefit of USB-C 4s is the fact that you can connect an external GPU to these things. You could literally get an external GPU enclosure and connect up an RTX 5090 if you wanted to go balls to the wall extreme and basically have a full-on gaming PC. Now, I would love to have had Oculink ports on both of these. Oculink supports higher bandwidth, especially for external GPU enclosures. I would love to have had that, but neither of these have that. But as far as having two USB 4 ports, and as far as the fact it also supports 32 gigs of RAM, despite them being very close, unfortunately, we're going to have to hand the first winner award to the Lenovo Legion Go 2, just for edging out the Xbox ROG Ally in terms of specs, core specs at least, right? So there we have it, guys. We have a winner for the specs competition here. For the Lenovo Legion Go versus the Xbox ROG Ally X. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comment section. Next, we're going to talk about design, and design can be very, very subjective because everyone has different opinions. People maybe want a more ergonomic design. Some people want smaller handhelds. Some people want bigger handhelds. So this is purely going to be my opinion, in my opinion alone, for this. Let me know again if you disagree in the comment section. Tell me what you think has the better design. I could be wrong because I've not obviously seen a side-by-side comparison of the Lenovo Legion Go 2 compared to the original Lenovo Legion Go 1, which we actually have. But it does look a little bit more ergonomic. It looks a little bit more rounded. They're going for that approach of the detachable Joy-Cons again, the detachable controllers with the Truestrike mouse feature mode, where you can use one of the Joy-Cons as a mouse. We'll discuss that in the unique features portion later. But it does look pretty good. One issue that I felt that I had at least, were that the buttons and the thumbsticks were they just weren't angled the way I'd like for a handheld. They're very cramped together, so you do have to almost do like a little crab claw thing with your hand to basically, move between the buttons and the thumbstick, because obviously the thumbstick and the buttons have to fit onto that controller, and the controller has to be pretty thin for the design of the console. Whereas something like obviously the Steam Deck or a gamepad, a normal gamepad, has a little bit more leeway in terms of like angling the thumbstick a little bit more to the left of the buttons. But overall, I think they've made some improvement. This year. It doesn't look nearly as bad. The D-pad is obviously circular for the Lenovo Legion Go 2. They've got a trackpad here for this under the thumbstick, which I think is a massive win, especially for mouse control when you're moving between, doing things in desktop mode, moving files around. You are going to have to be navigating Windows on this at some point. Okay, so the freaking touchpad is obviously going to be a useful feature, and again, we'll cover that later on. But I like the design of the Lenovo Legion Go 2. I'm not going to lie, it looks pretty darn neat. It is obviously going to be very chunky. It's a chunky boy, all right? It's going to be a chunky thing, but obviously you are able to detach those controllers and basically use the tablet portion on a table and then just kick back and relax with the controllers and have something light to basically play your games with, and dock them up to a controller grip. So as far as design goes, guys, I think that's pretty nice. Now the Xbox ROG Ally, obviously this year they're adding the grips on the back, which I believe may have rumble inside. The rumble in the actual grips that you hold onto. People have said it does, some people have said it doesn't. Obviously, I don't know if it's going to be empty space in there or they're going to put rumble motors in there, but we're going to see. Either way, this thing is also going to be super comfortable. It's obviously not the nicest looking handheld, I'm not going to lie. Obviously, we'll get into the display. One portion of the design that I'm not too keen on is the display, but we'll cover that afterwards. But as far as the design goes, guys, I do like the angle of the thumbsticks to the D-pad, the thumbstick to the buttons on the right. We've obviously got more, it just seems more comfortable. It's where your thumb should rest, okay? So this is going to be a close one, guys. It's going to be a close one. As far as design goes, I'm not going to lie, I do like when a handheld is all one piece, right? It's a gaming handheld. I'm not a fan of the detachable Joy-Cons. Oh, decisions. Xbox fans, please don't hate me. I'm going to have to hand the winner of this to the Legion Go 2 again, just for the versatility. Again, because it does have meaty bits for you to wrap your hands around at the back. It is ergonomically designed. The controllers are detachable, so more comfortable for playing, obviously, on the sofa. Gives you more options. You could either play it as one handheld itself. It is chunky. It's going to be bigger and heavier, yes, but the versatility, you're right. I've got to hand it to the Lenovo Legion Go 2. Now, the Xbox ROG Ally by no means has a bad design. The design's really nice. I like the ergonomic grips. They're going to be super comfortable. Personally, I would rather a handheld not have the sticky out grips, purely because I feel like I'd rather have a slimmer package and then buy a case that has grips just for traveling. But, the grips are still going to be a nice thing for the Xbox ROG Ally. Let's be honest. But on versatility alone, I'm going to have to hand it to Lenovo Legion Go 2. Again, I do like the design of the Xbox Ally, guys. It is nice. I do like the design somewhat. I don't like this angle bit here, and I don't like how the display 16:9 and the bezels and stuff like that. As far as the Lenovo Legion Go is concerned, I mean, look at that edge-to-edge screen, detachable Joy-Cons, grips in the back. I hate to say it, but the Lenovo Legion Go 2 has this in the back. And now, one of the most important parts of a gaming handheld, the thing that you're going to be looking at as you're out and about, as you're laying back in bed, as you're on the sofa playing it, and that is one of the most important things to me, and that is the display. Because when you're looking at a handheld, you want games to look good. You want the screen to be big. You want it to be beautiful. You want it to pop. You want your games to look amazing. And it's obviously, like I said, it's the thing that you look at and you enjoy your games on. It is core to the experience. Unless you're using this docked up to like a monitor or something like that. Screen's very important to me. And obviously here for the Lenovo Legion Go Gen 2, we have the 8.8 inch, 8.8 freaking inches in a handheld. Absolutely insane. Love it. After having the Switch 2, after having a Steam Deck and then an original ROG Ally with the 7-inch display, when I upgraded, or when I tried the Nintendo Switch 2 with the 8-inch display, I loved 8 inches. I think 8-inch now needs to be a standard for gaming handhelds, gaming PCs. 8-inch has to be the standard, I think, going forward. Lenovo goes one step further and gives us 8.8 freaking inches of screen real estate. It is absolutely phenomenal, guys. And not only is it 8.8 inches, it's OLED as well, so the colors are going to pop. So they've hit it out the park, guys, as far as the display. It's going to be 1920 by 1200, 16 by 10 as well, not 16 by 9, so we're not going to get any awkward black borders at the top, bezels. It's basically edge-to-edge screen, 16 by 10, 1920 by 1200. It's 8.8 inches. It's OLED. It's got 500 nits brightness, HDR up to 1000 nits. It is absolutely phenomenal, the Legion Go screen. And this is what kind of saddens me a little bit about the Xbox ROG Ally. And something that baffles me a little bit is they've chosen to go with a 7-inch display, a 7-inch full HD IPS display. It's 1920 by 1080, it's 16 by 9, so it has those weird black bezels at the top and bottom. It is 120 Hz with FreeSync, 500 nits brightness, and it does have VRR. Okay, so it's got variable refresh rate. It's going to smooth out games at lower frame rates, and just make things feel buttery smooth. But this is an old display. And this is one of my pain points for the new Xbox ROG Ally, is the fact that they've decided to put in an older display. Not only is it the display smaller, it's older, it's not OLED, it's still a nice display. But in 2025, for me, with the Nintendo Switch being out there, with Steam Deck even having an OLED display, with Lenovo Legion Go now basically upping the stakes with its 8.8 inches and OLED, and 120 plus hertz. This just feels a little bit outdated to me. Xbox, Asus, I really don't know why you went with this display. I think this is going to be a solid handheld. Listen, if you love if you want to get, and you're planning on getting an Xbox ROG Ally, I'm not going to dissuade you from getting it. It's a nice handheld. You're going to love it either way. The display is still good, but for someone who's had a couple of gaming handheld PCs, someone who's had a Nintendo Switch 2, I'm looking for a screen that's bigger than 7 inches. And unfortunately for me, the Xbox ROG Ally X just isn't cutting the mustard as far as screen size is concerned. So unfortunately, again, for the display, I'm going to have to hand this to the Lenovo Legion Go 2. It ticks all the boxes for me as far as screen, the fact that it's an OLED. It's not only 8 inches, but it's bigger than 8 inches. It's got high refresh rate. It's got VRR, and it's obviously got HDR brightness. It's basically the dream display for me. Obviously, it's going to make the console bigger. It's going to be a big chunky handheld. All right, handheld's a linear. It is technically a handheld, but it's a big handheld. But my God, our game's going to look good on it with the OLED, with the 8.8 inches. So right now, we're 3 for 3 to the Lenovo Legion Go 2. Now, battery is where it gets a little bit interesting as well, because the Lenovo Legion Go 2 actually has a 70 watt-hour battery. It supports, fast charging. It comes with a 65 watt adapter. This is where we're going to see the win go to the Xbox, because the Xbox has an 80 watt hour battery. It supports up to 100 watt charging via USB-C, and it's obviously going to support better longer playtime, longer play uses, because it's going to have a smaller display. It's got the 7-inch display. It's not OLED, so you're going to get a little bit longer playtime, and on top of that, obviously a larger battery. So our first win of the video, our first win for the Xbox Ally is going to be the battery, 80 watt hours. If you like these sorts of videos, these sort of pitting against each other videos, like, you know, this versus this, please like, subscribe on this video, because we're going to be doing more of these as far as handhelds are concerned. This was like a quick mock-up design for me, and I'd love to do more videos like this. And let me know again if you agree or disagree with these so far. But yeah, let me know. So lastly, we're going to be talking about unique features, okay? Both have unique features. Some of the Xbox's unique features are actually going to be coming to the Lenovo Legion Go. I'm talking about the Windows interface, right? The Windows Xbox interface, unique Xbox interface. Actually, some people have already shoehorned it onto the Lenovo Legion Go already. It actually leaked, and people are running this Xbox UI interface onto Lenovo Legion Go and other third-party handhelds. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know if we can call this a unique Xbox handheld feature as of yet, but yeah. So let's start off with the Lenovo Legion Go's unique features. Now, it goes without saying, detachable controllers and the fact that you can use the right controller as a freaking mouse, as seen here, is obviously a standout unique feature. I think this is fantastic. I've never used this personally with my Lenovo Legion Go 1, but obviously it's something you might want to try out. If you don't feel like connecting a mouse to this thing and you want to use this with the tablet portion, as if, you know, on FPS games, you can obviously do that, which I think is pretty neat. It has a built-in kickstand as well, so obviously that's going to be handy if you are basically just, you know, basically putting your handheld down, disconnecting the controllers, or playing with the mouse and keyboard off the built-in display. You can kick out the kickstand and basically play with this thing on a desk with it sitting up. You don't have to find any awkward little thing to prop it up like you do with the Xbox ROG Ally. So that is another unique feature that this thing has. It also has a fingerprint reader. It's got a bunch of buttons. I think it's got like, let's see, it's got like 4 or 5 buttons, rear buttons on the back of the controller. I believe two on each controller. You've got 2 on the right gamepad controller thing. You've got 2 on the left. They're positioned slightly differently because obviously the right one is meant for a mouse, so they positioned the 2 rear buttons a little bit differently, just because obviously it makes it feel more comfortable as a mouse. You've obviously got your Legion Space Command Center. This is something the Xbox has a variant of with the Asus's Armory crate. So these things are kind of similar between the two. You can obviously fine-tune each controller as you'd like. But yeah, as far as like detachable controllers, the stuff you can do in this on the Legion Go 2, FPS mode using the right controllers and mouse, console mode where you can put the controllers, the detachable controllers on the grip and basically have it be a gamepad. Hall effect joysticks is another unique feature that this thing's going to have. Basically, it uses magnets instead of the older technology. So basically you're not going to get any joystick drift for this thing. It's going to be more reliable long term. It's going to be more accurate, long lasting precision. So that is massive. It's got a large pivot D-pad, circular D-pad. I hope it's a little bit smaller than the original one, because I was not a fan of the original Lenovo Legion Go 1's D-pad. It was just too big for me. We went with a circular design, so pivoting should be a little bit easier in this, which I'm very happy about. And obviously you have your handheld mode. Very nice. The fingerprint sensor, the built-in kickstand, the detachable controllers, the fact you can use the right controller as a mouse. I mean, the OLED screen size, ports, the extra buttons on the side and the back of the controller. It has a lot going for it. Now let's talk about the Xbox ROG Ally's exclusive sort of unique features. Obviously, one being the Xbox optimized full screen interface for seamless gaming. They've got the new redesigned ergonomic grips on the back, which is pretty neat. They got the Xbox buttons, obviously. It now has its own dedicated Xbox button, which is pretty neat. You're obviously going to have that first-party experience as far as Xbox Game Pass is concerned. There's not really going to be much fiddling as far as getting it to work on the Xbox Ally. You're going to have, basically, as soon as you put this thing up, it's going to load straight into the unique Xbox sort of Xbox full screen interface and give you full access to game bar, your library, your cloud gaming. All that stuff is going to be basically accessible from the get-go. There's not going to be having to set up, install apps on the desktop mode beforehand. It should just work out of the box, which I think is going to get rid of a lot of headaches for a lot more casual players or new handheld gamers. Basically, it's also going to have impulse triggers, so it's going to have those fancy triggers that the Xbox controller has, which I think are phenomenal, especially for racing games. Again, one reason why I would never play a racing game on something like a Nintendo Switch 2 is because they've got digital triggers. This new handheld is going to have very similar triggers to an Xbox controller, Xbox One, Xbox Series X controller, which I think is going to be phenomenal. Racing games are going to feel amazing on this, especially with the fancy impulse triggers. You're going to get HD rumble on the new controller as well, on the new Xbox ROG Ally X as well, which I think is really good. And obviously, like I says, I know I'm repeating things now, but we're obviously going to get that dedicated Xbox button, which can make a huge difference as far as pulling up that little Xbox game bar and recording or accessing your friends list or accessing your library on, with a touch of a button, basically, essentially. So that's going to be nice. Now, as for who wins the unique features, can you guess? I'm going to have to give it to, drum roll, please. We're going to have to give it to the Legion Go 2 because it's got so many. The list of features this thing has is just insane. Now, the price. These two puppies come in at two very different prices. And going obviously by the versus page here, you could probably tell why. Okay. The Legion Go is going to cost more. The Legion Go, at least the higher end one, is going to come in at $1349.99, which is a little bit pricey for a handheld. I mean, you can build a gaming PC for that, to be perfectly honest. But can you basically pull out a gaming PC on a plane or on the train or in the car? Can you pull out your gaming PC while you're laying back in bed? Some people can, but most people can. So obviously the Legion Go has that going for it. It's, you're getting a lot. And obviously you're getting the option to maybe, dock this up and use this as a full-fledged gaming PC. Same goes for the Xbox ROG Ally. Both of these are absolute powerhouses as far as performance goes, and hardware and possibility use cases for the future. Obviously, you can connect an eGPU to this, have a 5090 running in the background. You're not going to get the full bandwidth from the 5090, but you're going to get a hell of a boost as far as gaming performance on either of these consoles, guys, if you dock these up to a monitor and want to use them as a full-fledged gaming PC. So you do get a lot of functionality in something that's also portable, and I think that is a massive win for both of them. And obviously the prices are going to reflect the features that they have. I don't believe we have got official pricing for the Xbox ROG Ally. Obviously, it's going to be available in October. The Lenovo Legion Go is coming soon as well. We're not going to talk about release date because they've been pushing back release dates lately for the two of them. Well, for the Lenovo Legion Go at least. I will talk about as well, just to go back a little bit, the features for the two of them. Obviously the Xbox has its redesigned ergonomic chassis, of course, but we never discussed the zero gravity thermal system for better cooling. Now, whether that makes a big difference and how that compares up to the Lenovo Legion Go, I don't honestly know. The Legion Go has improved thermals with an extra heat pipe, according to them. As for how that stacks up against the zero gravity thermal system, I don't know, so I'm not going to include that as unique features because we can't really compare right now. I don't have either of them. Can't compare the cooling system. But back to the price. The Lenovo Legion Go is going to be about $1,350, $1,400, and the Xbox ROG Ally X is probably going to go for anywhere from $850 to $900. So the Lenovo Legion Go is going to be about $300, $300 to $400 more than the Lenovo Legion, than the Xbox ROG Ally. So for price, as far as price goes, who are we going to select for a winner? You're getting less features on that Xbox ROG Ally, a lot less in terms of screen, in terms of RAM. unique features, the design, etc. Obviously, Lenovo's went a long way in terms of putting all the best things on this Xbox Ally. They've made a lot of compromises, but for $300, would I want obviously the two USB 4s? Would I want the functionality and the flexibility to detach the controllers, use this thing wireless, use the Truestrike controllers, obviously the 8.8-inch display screen? I think the Lenovo Legion Go 2 price is going to come down a little bit faster too. I'm going to say the value for money, you might be getting a little bit better value. If you're going to be spending damn near $1,000, I would rather save an extra couple of $100 and get the Lenovo Legion Go 2 just for the screen. I'm a big believer in a larger screen. I'm a big believer in OLED. I've got to give it to the Legion Go 2. So there you go, guys. That is the showdown. I'm going to give 5 points to Legion Go 2. We're going to give 1 point to the Xbox ROG Ally. Obviously, the Xbox ROG... I hate to give the price winner thing to Lenovo Legion Go 2, because obviously the ROG Ally X is cheaper. But as far as what I want in a handheld, if you're going to be spending that much money anyway, I kind of want something that will last the longest in terms of just features, RAM, display, something that will stand the test of time, something that I won't get a little bit tired of. Like, as far as a future complete package is concerned, like, again, the original ROG Ally with that same 7-inch screen, by the end of using it and wanting, after having it for a year, I started getting a little bit tired of the small screen. When I started seeing bigger handhelds come out, switch to the Lenovo Legion Go, seeing those bigger 8-inch displays and trying them, I started getting a little bit fatigued with that 7-inch display. So for a few $100 for me personally, for the price, I would rather just save up a little bit extra and get a Legion Go 2. Anyways, that is my summary. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Either way, listen, guys, just because, this is my opinion. This is why I've deemed the winner based on my own use case. Yours might be completely different. The specs are very similar, okay? The specs are very similar. Very similar. But the Lenovo Legion Go 2 edges the Xbox Ally out. I mean, I could have called it a tie for the specs because they are very similar. Both have a Z2 Extreme. They're very close in a lot of regards, guys. But the Legion Go just takes it. And I want to be honest with you guys, all right? I could have given you a BS tie and said, okay, well, they both have a Z2 Extreme. One has 24, one has 32 gigs of RAM. Oh, well, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to call it a tie. No, it's a little bit more than that. So honestly, I'm giving you my honest opinion, so I have to pick the Legion Go 2. So yeah, despite the Legion Go 2 winning 5 out of the 6 and Xbox Ally X winning 1 out of the 6, they're still very good handhelds, both of them. Whichever one you get, I wish you all the health to play with it and enjoy it. The price, obviously, you're going to save a bit of money getting the Ally. The Ally has a lot of nice features. Let's be honest, the design is kind of nice too. Again, very similar specs to the Legion Go 2 for the Ally. The design, in some cases, is better than the Legion Go 2 in terms of being one single unit. I do like that. I like the ergonomic grips. Some love the design. Some think it's ugly. But for me, I like the design of the Legion Go 2 a little bit more. But the design is still pretty good with the Ally. The display is still good with the Ally, but in 2025, it's a little bit outdated. Battery, obviously, better than the Legion Go 2. I mean, come on, it's 80 watts. Features, Legion Go 2, but the Xbox ROG Ally still has a bunch of nice little features going for it, and the price is cheaper, but obviously, as far as price to what you get in the box, I'm giving it to the Legion Go 2. I mean, sorry this ended up being a little bit of a rambly video, but there's my thoughts, guys. Let me know if you disagree or agree. I love them both. I would have them both if I had the chance. Honestly, I would be happy with either one. I'll probably be waiting to get the Steam Deck 2. If I do decide to get a new handheld, it will probably be the Legion Go 2 myself. I think there's going to be a massive leap in performance. Obviously, we've seen the GPD Win 5 just come out now that supports, like, I believe up to 80 watts, 80 watt hour TDP, and the performance is off the chain, but you obviously need a pretty powerful charger to even run it. So that's there's obviously new handhelds coming out on the horizon, new APUs from AMD, and I'm waiting for that truly next gen. I think as far as performance goes, guys, the performance next gen performance leap just isn't quite there for me yet to upgrade. So that's where I stand as far as that's concerned. But obviously these two are two of the best, two of the 2025 big shots. And that's how I rank them. Anyways, guys, love you, appreciate you. Like, subscribe, click the bell icon, check the links down below in the video description. I'm Blaze2K. We cover handheld gaming and gaming every day on the channel. Come join us. See you in the next one. Peace out.
Let's go.